For this project, you'll need paper, pencil, a ruler, something to color with, and circular objects to trace. Start by tracing your circular objects onto your paper. Objects could be lids of plastic containers, tape rolls. They can be different sizes. You can trace them as many times as you'd like. Make sure not to overlap your circles as you trace them. Next, take your ruler and line it up on the vertical side of your paper. Make a little mark at each inch. Do the same thing on the horizontal side of your paper. Next, take your ruler and use it to draw horizontal lines going across your paper from each mark. When you get to one of the circles, do not continue the line. Draw the line up to the circle and then continue it once you get past the circle. But don't let your lines intersect and go across the circles. Leave those free of any marks for right now. Do the same thing vertically on your paper. Draw lines from each of the marks you made using your ruler, going up and down the page, but not going across any of the circles. Now go back to each circle and continue the horizontal lines through the circle. But as you do that, you're going to make your line actually curve up if it's above the halfway point of the circle, or curve down if it's below the halfway point. Let me show you what I mean. So I take this line, I continue it through the circle, but I curve it up like a frowny face. And I do the same thing down here, except I go down, like a smile. I'm going to do that on each circle. Curvy line up, curvy line down. Do the same thing vertically. Curving to the left, if it's on the left side of the circle. Curving to the right, if it's on the right side of the circle. Now it's time to add color. Choose a pattern of colors, which could just be white and another color. And skipping the circles entirely, begin to color every other square in just the background of your paper. Make sure not to color in the shapes inside the circles quite yet. When you finish coloring all of the squares in the background, you're going to start coloring a pattern inside the circles, but it must be opposite the background. So if we come to this first circle right here, this background square is white, so this one is going to be red. This one's white, so this one will be red. This one's red, so this one will leave white. Then this big one right here, to keep with the every other pattern, this one will be red. Do the same thing in every one. For this project, you're going to need a pencil, a piece of paper, something to color with, and optional, a ruler. I like to use markers to color this project, but crayons work just as well. To start, trace your non-dominant hand on your paper. Make sure to spread your fingers and to carefully draw around each finger, making a simple drawing of your hand on the paper. Then take your ruler, line it up on the vertical side of your paper, and make a mark at each inch. Using your ruler, draw horizontal lines across your paper at each mark you've made. As you do this, stop when you get to your hand. Don't draw any lines going through your hand for now. Then go back and connect the lines on your hand with a curving line up. So curve that line up to the edge of each part of your hand. And when you get to the fingers, do the same thing. Little curving lines up, taking the contour of the shape of your hand, making it look like it's three-dimensionally coming off the page. To add color, choose a marker or crayon and start by simply tracing along your pencil lines that go across your paper. Choose a pattern of colors to fill in the white space between each of those lines. Those could be thick lines, you could color the whole space, but as you go across, make sure that your lines curve, mimicking the lines already on the page. If you follow these steps, it should look like your hand is popping off of the paper.